about 20 years since we've had major changes to the search infrastructure, and it's an exciting opportunity and an exciting time in tech.
Is it changes for the good, do you think?
I think that in many ways, there are really exciting things that will be for the good here. Certainly, one of the things we hear constantly is that search has become a bit broken. It's often hard to find good quality content for what it is that you're looking for, simply because over the course of the last decade, a lot has built up to be able to gamify and make a lot of the content you find these days ads. So if that makes that better, absolutely. But there are some real risks and concerns that people are talking about as well, which I'm sure many of your viewers will be interested to hear about.
Yeah, well, tell us about what some of those risks are, because I mean, we know already that ChatGPT is only as good as the quality of information that it can find. I suppose that inaccurate information is one concern. What are your concerns?
Yeah, there's an expression in computer programming, garbage in, garbage out. And of course, these large language models, it's what we refer to it as in the tech space, are trained on the existing web. And so to the extent that that is good information, ChatGPT is trained on good information, all language models are. And to the extent that it's misinformation or out-of-date information or simply misinformed information, that can cause real harm as well. Some of the things that people like myself are thinking about is, with this advent of a new search approach, how do we make sure that people have an understanding of where this information comes from? What are the ways in which it's trained? How are the computer programmers who are behind this thinking about how to address bias in the training data? Certainly, we have lots of longstanding biases that exist in society that we're worried about replicating here. It's something we worked on a lot at Wikipedia. How are we thinking about who makes the decisions about what kind of content can be produced? Right now, OpenAI is talking about we don't want misinformation being produced, or we don't want hateful information being reproduced. So those are just some of the questions that are coming up. And then, of course, probably very relevant to the work you do and other journalists around the world, whoever writes the content that these language models are being trained on, what are their rights as well? Because if search is now responding in paragraph form that is taking information from other websites, what does that mean for the creators of that original content? This is a big question for photographers, for artists, for journalists, for authors across the globe.
That's a really good point. And actually, I'm interested as well about what's going to happen to Wikipedia, because if you put a question in now at the moment looking for some sort of search, what is, I don't know, news breakfast, it'll often come up with a Wikipedia entry. Now what Microsoft is proposing is it will make up its own paragraph and tell you news breakfast is a breakfast show on the ABC. So what does that mean for Wikipedia? Is it going to become redundant?
Well, I certainly hope it's not going to become redundant for a wide variety of reasons. Number one, in order for products like Google and Microsoft to be able to even train to have answers to these questions, someone needs to be writing the content that answers these questions. And very often that is a volunteer Wikipedia editor who has a real passion about a certain topic and who has done the work of collating information from not just across the web, but actually going in and reading books, potentially, real hard copy ones, not even audiobooks, and pulling all that information in and giving, the best possible overview. So we at Wikipedia have long had a conversation with these large tech companies about how important it is that they don't just aggregate content from Wikipedia, but actually continue to direct people back to Wikipedia. Because if they want to continue to benefit from the work that Wikipedia and other large organizations do that create content in the public interest, it's really important that they're also supporting these organizations as well. And so this has been a large topic of conversation about how tech companies play nice with the media industry and make sure that there's the opportunity to drive readers back to those sites in order to support those business models. I think that that's only going to rise to more of a fever pitch in the next couple years as we see some of this play out. But as for Wikipedia, I think in general, Wikipedia is strong. People who write Wikipedia write it because they are passionate about it, not because they necessarily want to end up on the first page of a Google search result. Yeah. Absolutely, it's going to be important to continue having these conversations.